Dr. Jacques Jaspitri of Soho MD, back here at the Bullpen at the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference. And I'm here today with Dr. Satish Tadikonda, who's a senior lecturer at Harvard Business School. Hi, Satish. Nice to have you here.
Hi, Jack. Pleasure to be here.
So can you tell us what got you here in terms of your background and what you're working on?
Yeah, so I'm currently a senior lecturer at Harvard Business School, focusing on primarily on teaching courses on entrepreneurship in the life sciences. And I'm here at the JPM conference, JP Morgan conference, primarily because several of my students are here,
Oh, nice.
and some of the companies that I'm working with are present here. So I've been here as part of those activities.
So they paid attention in class.
Yes.
And prior to going to being a senior lecturer, what were you doing before that got you to where you are?
So I've been an entrepreneur in the healthcare and life sciences space for about 25 plus years,
Wow.
and along the way, built and sold some companies and been involved primarily over the last 15 years in working with young entrepreneurs, who are about to launch companies. And as part of that, I was one of the co-founders of a program called Scale Up,
Scale Up?
yeah,
Okay.
which helps companies which are a little past the seed stage to kind of go from seed stage to Series A type of companies to really think about what are the things which go into scaling an organization. It's mentored. It's a pro bono program which a number of successful executives mentor these companies. Hand-to-hand combat, stay with them for few months and help them. So it's been a very successful program over the last 10 years. But as a natural output of that, I've been involved with the Harvard Business School for the last 7 or 8 years or so, and both as an executive fellow and entrepreneur in resident, but more formally over the last few years, teaching entrepreneurship in the life sciences.
Yeah. And in terms of what you've been teaching, what do you think are the key factors that help people succeed in the life sciences if they want to be an entrepreneur?
First of all, there are 2 or 3 clear things, right? Getting the idea, right? But moving beyond the idea, there's a lot of blocking and tackling type of things, securing the IP, thinking about how you want to formulate a lot of your preclinical activities, early science validation activities, and then really keeping a mind on the end markets, and how do you work backwards to think about what it takes to get from that idea stage to, how do you think about your indications, what market sizes, and those are the kinds of things that you really need to think about the longer picture beyond an idea stage, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, do you stay in touch with some of the companies afterwards? So after they've gone through
Oh
this
yeah,
program?
absolutely. Work with a number of companies over the years, but what we are really trying to create, specifically within Harvard Business School, is a entire ecosystem which goes all the way from helping students think about both careers in the life sciences, either to join startups or big companies, or coming from an investment perspective, how do you look at investing in the life sciences? But looking beyond that, providing that sort of survey of what happens in the life sciences to students, is to look also get a subset of students who are interested in launching companies, or much more broadly also bringing the same type of teaching that we are doing to the executive education side,
Nice.
right? All along from not just MBA students, but also execs.
So people who are in real life doing this, and you're
Yeah.
able to take the knowledge that you have and then help them apply it to their day-to-day
Yeah, so
operations.
typically companies come in and look at it either you are cross-pollinating different functional groups to learn about what's happening across. And a key element of it is also, as part of this course, we are looking at a lot of advanced things happening. So they also want to look at what's coming, and how are things thinking about. How are
Keep their
people-
finger on the pulse
Yeah,
of the
and then
marketplace.
there's increasingly there are new techniques. Obviously Gen AI is pretty hot now.
Yeah,
AI,
it's very hot.
but how do you use data from the healthcare side of the equation, post-approval or other things to influence a lot of the life sciences activities, either to recruit patients or to look at real-world evidence or things like that. So all those are in the mix.
That's amazing. That's a lot of exciting work happening up
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. And the hope is to, create this whole ecosystem where, each part, kind of builds up on the others, So,
Totally, and builds momentum.
yeah, absolutely.
And what are you working on now that you're excited about?
Aside from my teaching, there are 2 or 3 other activities I do. I'm still continue to be an entrepreneur, and my latest venture is called Trove Health, which is actually just about the point we were making earlier, looking at sort of democratizing a lot of the longitudinal patient information to look at both trial design, patient interactions, recruitment or retention or post-approval activities. So that's one place, especially with the Cures Act there, it's allowing patients to unlock a lot of their data.
Yeah, I see. So then you're trying to figure out ways to
Yeah.
operationalize, make use of that data.
Correct. And the key is longitudinal information about the patient, not just, like a claims data here, transactional things, but how do you look at a patient across? So in order to get a true picture, either for real-world evidence, synthetic trials, or recruitment, or any of this.
That's amazing. So you're able to absorb that data set, analyze it, and then produce
Yeah,
meaningful
correct.
patterns and
Correct.
information. And so Trove is providing the infrastructure for other corporations doing this?
So Trove is actually has at least currently has 100,000 patients worth of
Wow.
longitudinal information. Longitudinal, not just transactional. But we are continuing to build on that so that companies can look at where cohorts of patients are and what are the other types of, or you could use that data to train your language models, the skinny models, which are very specific to. So that's one area I'm involved in. And the other area I'm also involved in is, I run a series of webinars along with the summit, the Digital Institute at Harvard Business School, focused on the responsible use of AI,
Nice.
right, within the
So-
life sciences
so
and
needed.
healthcare. Yeah. What guardrails do you put in? How do you think about it? And everything associated with using it responsibly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like balancing, regulating it with letting it
Yeah.
actually
Correct.
advance. Like you don't want to
Correct.
stifle the growth, but
Yeah. So how do you skinny it down, put guardrails around it to be able to use it appropriately without, bias or having intellectual property issues, but at the same time, how do you relate that narrow specific data to outside? I mean, interestingly, I'm on the board of a company which is doing exactly the same thing with imaging data, right?
wow.
Like how do you train models on taking imaging data and analyzing it to be able to make some predictive type of things.
Yeah, it's important work. And what's your ask of the bullpen and the bullpen community?
So the biggest thing is, obviously to do all these kinds of activities, it takes a very collaborative effort. If there are ideas that folks have, or they're young, or startups, or other kinds of things, where either they need to connect with other fellow entrepreneurs, or if they want to have case studies written about them or other content to be generated, would be happy to collaborate. Yeah, absolutely happy to collaborate with companies. That's how we work. And if there are interesting ideas somebody wants to write about or create content around, I'd be absolutely open to working with them.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you. So if you want to connect with Dr. Satish Tadikonda, you could go to bullpen.ventures. His link and bio are there. It's so great to have you here and learning
Thank you,
about
Shannon.
all the work that you're doing.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right.